Today we're gonna try the Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. A returning classic, some might say. It's big, it's bold, it's back. 6XL slices. They already got the boxes, which is nice. Usually when you get things the first day they come out, they won't have the boxes ready, but they got the boxes ready. Let me show you what it looks like before I keep putting it down. It's just kind of hard in the car, but we'll make it work. It's a little bit hard to see like that, but there you go. I'll give you a slice up front so you can see a little bit better, but this is fun. It's freezing cold right now, which is very unusual for Texas. I mean, it happens. It's the winter time. But this winter has not been wintry at all. This is like the first day, I think, you know, since winter started that it's actually been freezing to a degree where I could notice it. It's been hovering around 30 some days, but today it's like 28. And hail is currently hitting my car, like little tiny bits of hail, just very small. You might be able to hear it. It's a mixture of rain and hail. It's like a flurry. I think that's what they call it. The Weather Channel's, you know, winter storm warning. Snowy flurry or something like that, or wintry storm mix. So raining / hailing, but not quite snow, unfortunately. That would at least be fun. Snow would at least be a fun addition. When it's just freezing rain, it's not exactly ideal. So I had to warm up my car for a good solid 20 minutes. The door was frozen. So I had to heat up the handle, get in here, start the car, let it melt the ice off a little bit. Luckily, because I'm originally not from here, I lived in Vegas for a lot of my life, but where I came from was Washington. So I'm kind of used to it. So at least I had this ready to go, my ice scraper / snow brush ready to go, which I'm assuming a lot of people probably don't have in Texas, but here we go. I got it from Walmart in Washington. So solid piece of equipment here I've had for years. Good stuff if you live anywhere where it's freezing, but not freezing too often, because I don't know how hardcore it would be in a really freezing area, but it works great in this weather and Washington weather, which never really gets too cold. It you know, it gets in the 20s and stuff, but not, you know, below freezing. So anyway, ramble aside, Big New Yorker pizza. I had to do laundry, so I was like, you know what? I guess I'll go out in the freeze, do some laundry, and pick up the Big New Yorker pizza. So clothes are in the dryer, and I have pizza to eat. It's back. It's kind of weird to be eating pizza 2 days in a row. Yesterday with the Papa John's Crispy Parm, which was a good pizza, but just a little bit kind of meh in terms of the concept. I think the implementation was fine. It's a good pizza. If you want to watch that review, go check it out. It was yesterday. But today we're talking about the Big New Yorker, which I'll be honest, I don't really remember that well. I know a lot of people really love it and it's a returning thing, but I can't honestly say that I'm some big fan of the Big New Yorker. I couldn't tell you what it tasted like before. I can't really do a comparison because I honestly don't remember. I probably have had it, but honestly, I don't know. So this is going to be new to me. 6XL slices. Now, I've gotten... Pizza Hut is generally not my favorite pizza place. It's probably the lowest on the list of chain pizzas for me personally. Don't go there too often. When I do, it's usually because there's a new item. Though the pizza melts they came out with a couple months ago, those were actually pretty good. And I'd recommend those if you're looking for a quick lunch or something like that. And they're cheap, $6.99 for a pretty good meal for one person. But anyways, back to the Big New Yorker pizza. The interesting thing to me is the addition of the cup pepperonis, which are some of my favorite pepperonis that a lot of places don't have. And I love the cup pepperoni. It made the Fanceroni pepperoni at Little Caesars great, and it's good for if you have a Marco's near you. They have a pepperoni Magnifico pizza, which is basically the same idea as this, except not with the New York style crust, but same idea of regular pepperoni and cup pepperoni together. And it's a great pizza. You should definitely go check it out if you have a Marco's. Anyways, I paid $13.99 for this here. Somebody told me on their app it was $15.99, so it's going to vary based on where you are. But $13.99 here seems like $12.99, $13.99 is kind of the standard for pizza now. So can't complain too much about the price. You got 6 nice big pizzas. The only thing that's concerning to me is that they labeled it as sweet marinara sauce, which is generally not my style. I'm not a sweet sauce kind of person, so I'm really hoping that this works out because they said it's got sweet marinara sauce, the mozzarella cheese, the cup pepperoni, the regular pepperoni, and then seasoning, like an Italian seasoning on top. I'm liking the way the crust looks. It's got that floppability. We'll eat it like a true New York slice, even though I've never been to New York and had a true New York slice. But I'm just hoping this sweet sauce doesn't throw me off, so here we go. All right, well, the wintry mix is heating up. I think I might flip this around for a second just to kind of show you what's going on out here. There's the nice wintry mix, and here's the pizza heating up the windows. So it's all fogged up, which is nice, but you can see the snowy hail, the freezing rain coming down. You could probably hear it, I assume. So hopefully that was a fun trip for everybody. Back to the pizza. I love it. I gotta be honest, I love it. Yesterday I was very apathetic about the Papa John's pizza. Let me center this a little bit. I was very apathetic about the Papa John's pizza because while I liked it, it had the typical, you know, Papa John's taste. It was exactly what it was. It had Parmesan crisp on the bottom. It's a good addition, but I wasn't blown away. It still tasted like a regular Papa John's pizza with cheese on the bottom. This does not taste like a standard Pizza Hut pizza at all, in my opinion. I was concerned about the sauce. Hopefully you can hear me over this loud roll. I was very concerned about the sauce, as I said before. I think it works 100% in this, even though it is a sweet sauce. It's not as sweet as I thought. When they label it as a sweet sauce, I kind of assumed that it would be sweeter than it is, but it has a perfect, I would go as far to say perfect, you know, balance of sweetness with the pepperonis. It's very greasy, but in the best possible way. I loved it. Again, I've never had a real authentic New York slice. I've only ever had, you know, places around me. There's local places I go to sometimes that have really good pizza that is New York style, but I don't know how close it really is. I assume this is not too far off, honestly, in terms of what I know of New York, being the floppy with the cheese and, you know, the kind of thin, floppy crust. And this, I guess, I don't know, is the sweet sauce a staple of New York pizza? I can't tell you, but I can tell you that I like the Big New Yorker a lot. To me, this is an easy 5. I haven't had a pizza that I really enjoyed this much from a pizza place in a while. I really like this pizza. Unfortunate that it's $13.99. It's maybe a little pricey, considering, but that's something I go through in my head that I really think is the wrong thought process, but like logically it's the wrong thought process, but I go through it in my head where I look at 2 pizzas, let's say in the freezer aisle or whatever, and I see the same brand. Let's say we got Home Run Inn is a good example. They have their regular pizzas with their regular crust, and they're like 30 ounces, you know, for $8 or whatever. Then they have the thin crust, which is like 18 ounces for the same price. They're both the same price. I look at the ounces and I think to myself, I feel like I'm getting ripped off. Even though logically, I guess you kind of are. But really, if you like the thin crust, it's a better deal, if that makes sense. So like with Pizza Hut pizza, I don't like regular Pizza Hut pizza. I like this. I like this New York thin crust that they got going. You know, maybe it feels worse because since it's thin crust, I feel like I could eat this whole pizza easily. And like, would I eat a whole Pizza Hut pizza normally? No. If it's regular crust, I probably couldn't because there's so much bread. So in a way, this is better because it's all killer, no filler, essentially. But it just, you know, it's something that goes through my head that I wanted to let out. But I think it is illogical, and it's better to go with the taste. And you got to take value into it somewhat, but I think that this is worth it at $13.99. At $15.99, that's a hard question. I don't know. I think I will get this again. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised, but at $15.99, that might stop me. So it's going to vary depending on where you live, but I think it's a solid deal at $13.99. And even at $15.99, it might be worth, you know, getting at least once to see if you enjoy it, because I really do think it's a great pizza. It mixes very well. The pepperoni is perfectly greasy and a little bit spicy on the pepperoni, but not in a spicy way, but it's got a good pepperoni spice, and it works with the sweet sauce. Usually with pizzas with sweet sauces, it just does not work for me. It just seems out of place. This time it's working great. The crust is perfect to me. It doesn't get in the way. It complements the rest of the pizza, which is what I want, because crust is usually a deterrent, and now it's getting even worse. But crust for me is usually the thing that I want to be out of the way. I don't want it to highlight. I want the toppings and the cheese to be the highlight of the pizza. The crust is really a delivery mechanism, and this one is perfect because it's perfectly thin. It's almost unnoticeable, but it melds well with the rest of the pizza. So Pizza Hut's Big New Yorker, I'm actually a huge fan. Might bump Pizza Hut up on the notch a little bit because I think that this pizza is, you know, fantastic. One of the best pizzas I've had from a chain in a long time. So get the Big New Yorker. Again, if it's $13.99, definitely get it. $15.99, maybe worth trying out if you're a pizza fan. And with that, and the loud din of this hail, which is building up on my window, makes me a little bit scared to drive, but I live not too far from here, so hopefully it's not too bad. But with that, I will see you all next time.